All right, I was just preparing for our class this week for Flip Flop Spanish at the Community Homeschool Center, and I thought this would be a great thing to share with everybody on Spanish Geniuses and in my newsletter and everything. So what we're doing is we're making a grateful tree, un árbol de gracias, árbol de gracias. But the little thingies I bought from Oriental Trading Company came in and they're slick. So my hope was the students would write on the slick side the Spanish word of what they're thankful for. So I would just write something like mi familia, and I would guide them through it. Since it's slick, it's not going to work with regular markers that are okay. I'd have to use Sharpies. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put mi familia on the side. I'm going to go ahead and put things that I think the students would typically say that they're grateful for. And on the back, I will have them draw a little picture. Students that don't want to draw, they can write in English, things like that. And then in class, I'll use these little sticky dealies. We're going to draw um, a, a tree on the whiteboard and then let them stick it up there. So there's all these glue dots that we have. I don't know if you can't see them, but anyhow, they're glue dots. For at home, if I were doing this, I would actually probably print out some pages that have leaves on it and let the kids color them neat colors and shade it and add some veins and things like that, and then add the words. So we'll see what the kids choose, but here's mi familia, my family. I'll put a list down in the subscription in the description section so you can have a reference, mi gato. But the cool thing about this is the skill that you're enforcing here is making the words meaningful. These are basic words that they might use, but if you actually write it out and say, sí, doy gracias a Dios, I give thanks to God, bicicleta. I give thanks to God por, doy gracias a Dios por mi bicicleta. That's my bicycle. And so now we're giving meaning to the vocab. And so that's the whole point behind See It and Say It, behind everything we do in Spanish Geniuses. We're always giving meaning to the word rather than a list. Mi hermano, my brother, mi hermano. Yo doy gracias a Dios por mi hermano, por mi hermana, my sister, mi hermana. If you have kids sitting with you right now, they can be coloring their leaves and repeating the words, or they can just be working on their own, listening to the words. That's okay too, just hearing it. You don't always have to repeat it. If you hear it and you understand, yo doy gracias, I give thanks. Yo doy gracias a Dios, to God, por mis amigos, for my friends. Um, how about yo doy gracias a Dios por mi comida, my food. And some of the words they already know from See It and Say It, they're going to immediately, recall because they love it. They're already excited. Oh yeah, I know, I bet already one of your children has said helado. Everybody loves focusing on helado, ice cream. Mi comida. Let's do mi iglesia. And so these are real simple things that they can draw on. I'm going to let every child do as many as they want in the time allotted, as long as we have materials. So I'm not going to put a limit on them. They can draw the picture, they can write the word, and they stick it on the tree to give thanks for as many things as they can think of. If we, I'm going to fill all these up, but if there's something that they say, oh, I wish it said blah, 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 I can always add mi familia. So if you want to add something to it and you ran out of leaves, that's okay. You can double up. There's no limit. And I'm going to make one with just mi iglesia, because somebody will want that. If you have older students, of course, you can do the Sharpie stuff and do it that way. But cut them out, keep them nice and small so you have plenty of space on your tree. When the kids were younger, I just got big pieces of brown construction paper because I had a construction pack, right? And you always have brown left over. Nobody ever uses the brown. And so I just stuck on the wall pieces of construction paper going straight up the wall. And then I cut some other strips and made kind of funky branches and stuck it there with painter's tape. Masking tape sometimes leaves residue, but painter's tape works. Sticky tack, that blue stuff or white stuff, that doesn't work. That falls off pretty quickly. So painter's tape is always fun, putting in a ball and sticking out of the back there. Of course, we're going to say mi madre. Yo doy gracias a Dios por mi madre. And won't it be nice if your grandparents are coming for Thanksgiving to leave this up for them and they see mi abuelo, mi abuela. And then you have a chance to go over your Spanish. Yo doy gracias. You could even write yo doy gracias a Dios on the trunk. If you want to say we give thanks, damos gracias. Damos gracias a Dios por mis abuelos. One year I did this exercise and I just gave all the kids fill in the blank. In fact, I'll put it in the link as well. I'll put it down in the file. Fill in the blank PDFs with Bible verses on it. And then the last sentence said, Yo doy gracias a Dios. And he wrote, por Señora Gos in there. And that was so sweet. So, and he gave it to me. I think I probably still have it. So mi maestro or mi maestra, if they have a teacher, if they just like their classes, they like going to class, mis clases. I mean, you can see the sky's the limit. So the way you want to look words up is SpanishDict.com. Damos gracias a Dios por mis mascotas, my pets. Maybe you have too many pets to name. And so you just want to say my pets. You can say mis animales if you want just my animals. Maybe you have like a farm like us and it's not always pets, it's just animals. Mi casa, did I say mi casa? I don't know. It's okay to repeat. As you become more and more thankful, you start thinking about so many things that you're grateful for. Some kids are going to be grateful for their sports team. So, el volleyball, that's what my boy is grateful for, volleyball. So see how neat it is. It's a way to give meaning to looking up on SpanishDictionary.com or SpanishDict.com. They're looking up words, but they already have meaning to them because they have it fixed in their head. Maybe they really like apples. So one of their favorites foods, I already said helada, las manzanas. That's a good way to practice too, right? You're practicing your grammar. So if you're saying more than one apple, las manzanas. If you want to say your book or your house, I'm grateful for your house because I get to go to it and I get to visit you. Tu casa. So you can change. A lot of kids, I remember when they were really little, we did this and they said mi cama. They were so grateful for their beds. La Biblia is a great one. Yo doy gracias a Dios por la Biblia. So this is a great exercise even for me as I'm coming up with thinking about all the things. I just heard my rooster who is protecting my flock. So I'm going to say mi gallo. They're going to laugh at that one. I bet that one stays at the table. Nobody's going to pick up the rooster card. Maybe somebody has a rooster in their household or in their yard. Let's do another. I'll do a few repeats so kids can put the extras on. My little girl, well, she's 16 and a half, but my little girl also teaches a flip-flop class at the same time that I do. So I'll be sharing these with her and she'll be using them as well. So we'll do mi familia a few times. In your house, if you have lots of siblings, lots of children, it's okay for them to repeat. It's okay. They don't have to have things that they're different, we didn't do mi padre yet. If you don't have enough space on your tree for both my mom and my dad, you could just say mis padres. That makes it my parents. It doesn't mean my dad's. It changes to mis padres means my parents. If you're grateful for leaves, like maybe you're in a location that all the leaves are falling and it's just beautiful. Las hojas. Las hojas. If you're in a space it's not very sunny all the time, and so you just are so grateful when you see the sun. We visited a location that was very overcast. Yo doy gracias a Dios por el sol. I don't think we've done my dog yet. Mi perro. Mi perro. Let's do a couple more with mi hermana and mi hermano. Actually, let's do my siblings. Mis hermanos. So you get the idea. As you're saying each sentence, you're changing out the noun, but you're sticking with yo doy gracias a Dios por, and then finishing it up with whatever new word you want to use. Let's finish up with por We'll just do one more. Mi familia. All right. I hope this inspires you to have un árbol. Here, let me do one so you can see it. Árbol de gracias. Yo doy gracias por, this will be funny. One of my students will find this and they'll find it amusing. Por el árbol de gracias. So my plan is I'm just going to spread these out on the table, give them colored pencils so they can color on the back or write on the back. They can put their name, they can draw a picture, or they can translate it. So always good to give options. There's not really a wrong thing to do. A lot of times you tell them one thing to do, that's really hard for a lot of students to follow, especially when they're being raised to be free thinkers because they're being homeschooled. It's difficult to just follow the crowd because that's not how they're being raised. So recognize choices are always good. So on the back, they can either draw a picture, write their name, or translate it. Then I'm going to give them a little sticky dot. They're going to stick it up on the whiteboard. For you, you can use painter's tape. And then until they're either bored of it or until the paper things are done, they're all up on the tape, up on the tree. Then we review, and I'll give every kid a chance to come up and say "Yo doy gracias a Dios por," and they can choose any one. They can be their own that they already said, or it can be one of their friends. ¿Está bien? All right. Feliz día de gracias.